Well, I think that the learning paradigm has changed. So, 10 or so or 15 years ago, availability of learning wasn't as great as it is today. I think also individuals are looking to upgrade themselves, their skills. And I think also the style of learning has changed somewhat. So, from an online or an e-learning perspective, 15, 20 years ago, computer-based training was new and innovative. What we've found with computer-based training is it's very isolating. So computer-based training typically is about one person learning on their own. The evolution from there to where we are today is what we provide, which is an online learning environment, which is far more inclusive. It also means that learners are learning from others. So it's a far more interactive environment, and it gives people the ability to get involved more globally in terms of experiences and knowledge that's shared amongst learners who are typically in different parts of the world. So those are probably some of the things that have evolved over the last 15 to 20 years. I think they coexist. Because I think there is a relevance in both of them, and I think there are always going to be individuals who want to go to a university, a physical place, and they feel that that's the best way in which they can deliver their or have their learning. The face-to-face environment for a number of people is still very important, and we find that it's a case of a combination of the two very often finds the right place. So a lot of the programs that we deliver are what we call blended. So it's a combination of face-to-face and online. So maybe some of the subjects are delivered in a face-to-face fashion in a particular place, and some of them are delivered online, depending on whether you can bring everybody together in a face-to-face environment. But at the same time, there are a lot of tools today, online tools, that enable you to create a face-to-face environment, whether they're video-based or they're what we call webinar-based. So there are a lot of tools, particularly with Web 2.0, that enable you to recreate almost a face-to-face environment. So again, you can create the blended approach where you have face-to-face and online. But my view is that they will coexist. But I think the online methodology for a large portion of the population that wants to upgrade their skills for all the reasons I've given you up to this point is going to become even more popular as we move through time. Historically, I think out of Asia, many students, many parents, undergraduate, but also graduate students as well, have sought to go overseas because they felt that maybe the richness of the learning environment, the knowledge base there, etc., may have given them, a slightly broader knowledge base and view, if you like, of the world, rather than being simply in Asia. I guess it's the same the other way around. I mean, a number of students from Western countries would very much like to come to Asian countries to get the same kind of view. So I think that still goes on, without a doubt. But I think that two things have happened. One is that there is definitely, obviously, more and more schools that are coming from some of the countries that you've mentioned and positioning themselves in Asian countries, so Singapore being a prime example. So that's good. The second, of course, from my perspective, is that the online environment gives you really the best of all worlds, because you're getting a combination of faculty who have got a broad range of experiences from different countries, and you're getting a combination of students who have a broad range of experiences from different countries, and you put those together in one community in a classroom, an online classroom, and as I said, the result is absolutely fabulous. I think the online paradigm is certainly gaining online. It's gaining momentum, there's no doubt about it. It's proved that the ability to facilitate through a very knowledgeable professor online and to be able to create the collaboration within a community, particularly in a postgraduate situation, again, which is the area that we're in, is one that is just going to continue to grow. And I think the very fact that, you know, in all businesses across the world today, everybody is looking for global individuals. You know, the rise up the management ladder is to do with individuals having a good view, a good understanding of the global nature within which we live. So I think the development and the movement, the momentum that the online paradigm has now started is going to continue and grow. And I think that's definitely the future. Now, it also has to do with the generations. So if you think about where we are today versus 10, 20 years ago, you know, the 25 to 35-year-old generation today are incredibly tech and IT savvy. They expect to be doing stuff online. They expect to be doing things with the web on a regular basis. Whether they're using a mobile device or they're using a laptop, it doesn't really matter. If you think of the generations that are following them, then they're even more online tech savvy. And their assumption is quite simply that everything they do is going to be related to the various different communities that they are part of in an online environment. So, creating a learning environment that is a combination of being what I call unstructured, in other words, the community-based activities that go on with Facebook and LinkedIn and everything else, versus structured, which you have to have if you're in a learning environment and you've got a class and you've got things you have to do. The combination of the two in the online paradigm become incredibly powerful. So as you move down the generations as they're growing up, then I think what we've started here is something that has to grow exponentially.